Okay, so we're going to get out your workbook and we are going to do some of the math. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so when you get to the first page, when you get to the math section, skip this page, skip this page. Honestly, this is where like lesson 6-1 begins. And I'm going to tell you right now that I suggest we just cross out this page because it's going to be more confusing for you. And then on this next page, so skip right past that, but turn to this page. I think it's 29 in your book. And we're going to not worry about 3 and 4 for now. Okay. And then I am going to do, if of course I can figure out how, there we go. We're going to do some of these problems together. So let me zoom in. All right. So the first problem is 2/5 plus 3/10. So if you notice, usually when you add fractions, you're used to having the same denominator. So that makes it easy. You just add the top and leave the bottom the same. But when the denominator is different, you can't do that. So what you need to do is you need to put both denominators down. So 5 and 10. And then you need to list the multiples or skip count by those numbers. So we'll do 5 first. So it'd be 5, 10, 15. Oops, that was supposed to be a 5, 15. Okay, and then same thing here, 10, 20, 30. And then once you do that, you may have to list more or less just because it depends on the numbers. You're gonna look for the one that they have that's the same, but it's also the smallest. So if you look, 5 has a multiple of 10 and 10 has a multiple of 10. This is what's called your LCM, or your least common multiple. So it's what they have that's in common or the same, and it's the smallest one, so 10. So now you're going to rewrite those fractions you started with, which again, if you don't remember, is 2/5, it's right here, and 3/10. And then we're going to set them up equal to a new fraction because we're going to change them so that they both have 10 as the denominator, with the same denominator. And I just sort of told you what the new denominator is, but we already found it over here, and it's 10. So I'm going to put 10 on the bottom here, 10 on the bottom here. So then I'm going to think I got to make a new fraction that's equal to it. So I have to think 5 times what gets me 10. Okay, then we should know that's 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then whatever I multiply by on the bottom, I do the same thing to the top. So 2 times 2, which gives me 4. And then we'll do the next one. So I think 10 times what gets me 10, and that one's pretty easy. It's just 1. So if I multiply it by 1 on the bottom, you do the same thing to the top, and 3 times 1 is 3. And then all that's left now is to add them because now they have the same denominator. So it's going to be much easier. So we'll do 4/10 plus 3/10 and 4, whoops, oh no, please hold, I broke it. There we go. Okay, so 4 plus 3 is 7, so 7's our numerator, and now our denominator is the same and we're adding, so it just stays exactly how it is. So that would be 7/10. Okay, so make sure you put that on the line in your book right now or on the page that I posted on Showy. The 7/10 is your answer. And then I'm gonna have to clear this problem. Okay, and then we're gonna go over to number 6. And we're gonna do the same thing. So if I look, automatically I notice they're different. So I cannot just add them like I'm used to. So I'm gonna take 4, and I'm gonna take 12. And I'm going to do the same thing and list their multiples. So I'm gonna skip count by 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16. And then same thing here, 12, 24, whoops, 36. And then I can look and I quickly notice that they have both seem to have 12. So that makes my least common multiple 12. So then if you remember, the next step is we rewrite the fractions. Okay, and we're gonna set them up equal to a new number. And if you remember, or to have a new denominator, and that new denominator is going to be that least common multiple that we found, which is 12. So I'm gonna put 12 on the bottom for both. And then I can start with the first one. 4 times what is gonna get me 12? And that would be 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. And multiply by 3 down here. I have to multiply by 3 on the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. So my first fraction is 3/12. And then the second one, 12 to 12, which should be quick and simple. 12 times 1 is 12. So I multiply by 1 up top. 1 times 1 is 1. That fraction didn't even have to change. And then I just need to add them together. So 3/12 plus, 1/12 equals 4/12. Okay, so that would be your answer for number 6, and you can write it right on the line. 4/12, so get that in your booklet. And then we're gonna do one more together, and I'm gonna show you what I want you to do on your own. So I'm gonna clear this, and we're gonna do one more. So we're gonna jump to number 10 because this one's just a little bit different. Get my drawing tool. All right, so my denominators are 2 and 5. I'm gonna do 2, 5, and then I'm gonna skip count by 2 first. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Sometimes you have to list more than others, and 10. And then for 5, starts with 5, and then 10, and then 15. And I noticed already that they have 10 in common. So that makes my least common multiple 10. Then I rewrite my fraction. So I have a half, and I have a fifth. And I'm setting those up equal to a new fraction, which you should know now what the new denominator will be. It will be 10. And then same thing, I think 2 times what gets me 10, which is 5. 2 times 5 is 10, so I multiply by 5 on the top. And 1 times, 1 times, that's a 5, pretend. 1 times 5 is 5. So one of them is 5/10. And the only reason this was different than the others is you have to actually change both fractions. The first two we did, one fraction got to stay the same. But it's not really much different. I still think 5 times what gets me 10, and that this time it would be 5 times 2 is 10. And same thing to the top because I multiply by 2 in the bottom and multiply by 2 up top. 1 times 2 is 2. So I have 5/10, I have 2/10. And then I'm going to add them together. So 5/10 plus 2/10. And I know I can just add across the top. 5 plus 2 is 7. And then the denominators are the same and we're adding, so it just gets to stay exactly as it is. And so my answer would be 7/10. So make sure you get that in your book or on the paper on Shobi. And then I'm going to clear this and show you what I want you to do now. Clear, I need my mouse back. Okay, so if I zoom out, we did together problems 5, problem 6, and problem 10. So you should have those done. So I want you to do now for today, the only thing you need to do is number 7, number 8, number 9. And actually, I'm just going to let you scribble out these two because I just don't feel we need that yet. And those 3, that's the only problems I want you to do is 7, 8, and 9. we just did 3 together, so you can go back and use the video. If you're really struggling, click onto Zoom. If you're on within when I am online, and I can help you with them as well, walk you through them. So yeah, that is what I have for you for math today.